Good morning, Chad. Good morning, all.
Good morning, Yochai, and good morning to all our listeners tuning in for another episode of Morning Brew with Chad, me, and you. I'm Chad, your co-host, and I'm thrilled to be here with you today. And a special shout out to everyone celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Speaking of which, Yochai's got the St. Paddy's Day spirit going strong with his green t-shirt today. Looking sharp, my friend. So, what's on the agenda for today's episode?
Well, I appreciate you noting my shirt. It's not true green. It's more of a forest green, but it's the greenest shirt I have, Chad. Trying to get into the spirit of things. But speaking of the spirit of things, Chad, I mean, are you wearing any green?
Forest green, got it. Well, Yokai, you're rocking that forest green like a true St. Patrick's Day enthusiast. As for me, well, let's just say I'm channeling my inner leprechaun with a hint of green socks. You know, just in case anyone tries to pinch me.
Well, look, I mean, I think we're both. I'm not Irish. I know that you're not Irish, but we're still trying to tip our hats to its roots. While toasting its worldwide embrace. I mean, it is worldwide. Am I right?
Absolutely, Yokai.
Well, I mean, so look, let's give it a background. I mean, how did this whole thing start? How does St. Patrick's Day start? Give our audience a little background story because I'm not as familiar with it as you may be.
The origins of St. Patrick's Day. Well, let me paint you a picture, Yokai.
Please.
St. Patrick's Day began as a religious feast day commemorating the death of St. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland, who died on March 17th in the 5th century. Over time, it evolved into a celebration of Irish culture and heritage, marked by parades, feasting, and wearing of the green. Today, it's a global phenomenon, celebrated by people of all backgrounds as a day of revelry and goodwill.
Well, I mean, Chad, parades. How about you paint us a vivid picture of a St. Patrick's Day parade in Dublin? I mean, how can we possibly bring that festive atmosphere to our listeners?
Dublin's St. Patrick's Day Parade, a sight to behold. Picture this, Yokai, the streets of Dublin lined with thousands of spectators, adorned in green from head to toe. Floats and marching bands wind their way through the city center, accompanied by dancers, musicians, and giant inflatable leprechauns. The air is filled with the sound of laughter and music, as families and friends come together to celebrate their Irish heritage. It's a vibrant spectacle that captures the essence of St. Patrick's Day and leaves a lasting impression on all who experience it.
Well, I mean, it seems like it's much more secularly celebrated nowadays, even though it has non-secular, right? Is it? No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. One of them is religious. I always get those confused. I believe it's non-secular is the religious one. It started off non-secular and then moved into a secular appreciation. I mean, when did that transformation take place?
You're absolutely correct, Yokai. St. Patrick's Day did indeed begin as a religious observance honoring the patron saint of Ireland. However, over time, it evolved into a more secular celebration of Irish culture and heritage, particularly among Irish immigrants in the United States. The transformation from a religious feast day to a global celebration of Irish identity took place gradually over centuries, influenced by factors such as cultural assimilation, immigration, and commercialization. Today, while the religious significance of the day is still observed by some, St. Patrick's Day is widely celebrated as a cultural holiday, embraced by people of all backgrounds as a day of festivity and merriment.
Well, what are the differences in the observances if you're observing it religiously versus observing it culturally?
When observing St. Patrick's Day religiously, the focus is on honoring the life and teachings of St. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland, through religious services, prayers, and reflections on his contributions to Christianity. This may include attending Mass, participating in religious processions, and reflecting on the spiritual significance of St. Patrick's legacy. On the other hand, observing St. Patrick's Day culturally involves celebrating Irish culture and heritage through various secular activities such as parades, festivals, wearing green attire, and enjoying traditional Irish food and drink. This may include attending St. Patrick's Day parades, enjoying Irish music and dance performances, and partaking in social gatherings with friends and family. While both religious and cultural observances may overlap in some aspects, such as wearing green or enjoying traditional Irish cuisine, the emphasis and significance of the day differ based on one's religious or cultural beliefs. Ultimately, whether celebrated religiously or culturally, St. Patrick's Day serves as a time for communities to come together, celebrate Irish identity, and enjoy the festivities in their own unique way.
Well, what are some of St. Patrick's tenets that we should be, well, let's say that he wanted us to abide by?
St. Patrick is known for his missionary work and his efforts to spread Christianity throughout Ireland.
Well, that's a short. Well, look. Speaking of Ireland, outside, as outsiders to the Emerald Isle. Excuse my pronunciation, Chad. How does St. Paddy's shenanigans in America stack up against those celebrations in Ireland itself?
Comparing St. Patrick's Day celebrations in America to those in Ireland itself is like comparing apples to shamrocks, yokai. While both countries embrace the festive spirit of St. Patrick's Day, there are some distinct differences in how the holiday is celebrated. In Ireland, St. Patrick's Day is more of a cultural and community-focused celebration, with parades, concerts, and traditional Irish music and dance performances taking center stage. It's a time for families and friends to come together, celebrate their Irish heritage, and enjoy the festivities in their local communities. In America, St. Patrick's Day is often celebrated on a larger scale, with extravagant parades, green-dyed rivers, and massive street parties taking place in cities like New York, Chicago, and Boston. The holiday has become more commercialized in the United States, with businesses capitalizing on the opportunity to sell St. Patrick's Day themed merchandise and promotions. Overall, while the essence of St. Patrick's Day remains the same in both countries, a celebration of Irish culture, heritage, and identity, the scale and style of the festivities may vary depending on where you find yourself on March 17th.
Well, they do color that river in Chicago green for the day. So yeah, and having grown up in New York and having friends in Boston, certainly you wanna kind of be prepared if you're going into those metropolitan areas on today. In St. Patrick's Day, of course.
Absolutely, okay. Visiting cities like Chicago, New York, or Boston on St. Patrick's Day is like stepping into a sea of green.
Yes, it is.
From the iconic green-dyed Chicago River to the lively parades and festivities in Times Square and South Boston, these cities go all out to celebrate the luck of the Irish. It's a day filled with excitement, camaraderie, and perhaps a pint or two of Guinness for good measure. So if you're heading into the city today, make sure you've got your green gear ready and brace yourself for a truly memorable St. Patrick's Day experience.
Yeah, some people have more than a pint or two, but let's get back to the music. I mean, you're talking about over in Ireland. You're talking about the festivities, it's festivals, it's music. I mean, to what degree has Irish music really kind of grown out of this celebration and really influenced, let's say, music worldwide?
Irish music, a cornerstone of St. Patrick's Day celebrations worldwide. The lively tunes of traditional Irish music, from jigs and reels to soul-stirring ballads, have indeed had a profound influence on music around the globe. Irish music's roots run deep, with centuries-old traditions passed down through generations. Its infectious rhythms and heartfelt melodies have found their way into various genres, influencing artists from folk and rock to country and even pop music. From the soulful sounds of the fiddle and tin whistle to the rhythmic beats of the bodhrán drum, Irish music captures the spirit of the Emerald Isle and resonates with audiences far and wide. So whether you're tapping your feet to a traditional Irish jig or singing along to a Celtic-inspired ballad, you're experiencing the timeless magic of Irish music, a true testament to the enduring legacy of St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And look, and I'm probably speaking out of turn. So, but you're the man to correct me, Chad. Or you're the guy, or however we're going to do this. But anyway, sea shanty, is that a style of music, or am I mistaken, or or does it have nothing to do with Irish? Sea shanty, is that at all a thing?
So, while sea shanties may not be synonymous with St. Patrick's Day or Irish music, they're certainly a fascinating genre in their own right, celebrating the seafaring spirit and camaraderie of sailors throughout history.
All right, so I think I got confused. Never mind. Let's move past that. Well, look, I mean, what notable artists? I mean, we got what? We got U2, we got Sinead O'Connor, we got the Cranberries. Who else do we got on the list as far as really strong Irish heritage musicians and bands, whether they're solo bands? I mean, maybe you got two or three more for us in that contention.
Absolutely okay. Ireland has produced a plethora of talented musicians and bands with rich Irish heritage. In addition to the iconic acts you mentioned, like U2, Sinead O'Connor, and the Cranberries, here are a couple more notable artists to add to the list. One, the Dubliners, a legendary Irish folk band formed in the 1960s, known for their traditional Irish music and lively performances. Their songs, such as Whiskey in the Jar and The Wild Rover, have become classics of Irish folk music. Two, Hosier. Andrew Hosier
Oh,
Byrne, known professionally as Hosier, is an Irish singer-songwriter whose soulful voice and poignant lyrics have captivated audiences
did
worldwide.
not know that.
His breakout hit, Take Me to Church, propelled him to international stardom, and he continues to produce soul-stirring music that resonates with listeners. These artists, along with many others, have made significant contributions to Irish music and have helped shape its diverse and vibrant landscape. Whether it's rock, folk, or soul, Irish musicians continue to leave their mark on the global music scene with their talent and creativity.
Well, I mean, how about across the pond, away from the Green Isle? What do we got on the stateside over here? You got a couple of notable musical acts for us to consider.
Absolutely, Yochai. When it comes to Irish American musicians and bands, there are several notable acts that have left an indelible mark on the music scene in the United States.
Let's hear them.
Here are a couple worth mentioning. One, Dropkick Murphys.
Of course.
Formed in Quincy, Massachusetts, Dropkick Murphys are known for their high energy blend of punk rock and Celtic folk music. Their anthemic songs, such as Shipping Up to Boston and I'm Shipping Up to Boston, have become synonymous with St. Patrick's Day celebrations and sports events across the country. Two, Flogging Molly. Hailing from Los Angeles, California, Flogging Molly is another Irish American band known for their fusion of punk rock and traditional Irish music. Their energetic performances and heartfelt lyrics have earned them a dedicated following and made them a staple of the Celtic punk scene. These Irish American bands, along with others like the Pogues, have helped popularize Celtic-influenced music in the United States and beyond, infusing it with their own unique style and spirit. Whether you're raising a pint on St. Patrick's Day or rocking out at a concert, their music is sure to get your feet tapping and your spirits soaring.
All right, I think you gave us the same song for Dropkick Murphys. And by the way, I don't mean to push back on you, Chad, but it is Sinead, not Sinead.
My apologies for the oversight, Yokai. You're absolutely correct. It's Sinead O'Connor, not Janine O'Connor. Thank you for catching that. And regarding Dropkick Murphys, my mistake for repeating the same song. They have a diverse discography
Yes,
beyond Shipping Up to Boston, including hits like I'm Shipping Up to Boston and Rose Tattoo. Let's ensure we provide a well-rounded perspective on their music.
Yeah, you really like Shipping Up to Boston, huh, Chad?
It seems I have a penchant for that song, Yokai, but fear not, I'm all about variety. So let's explore more of Dropkick Murphys' discography beyond Shipping Up to Boston.
Oh, please no.
To give our listeners a diverse taste of their music.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's get diversity on the plate. If we had the ultimate, if you were to make the ultimate Spotify playlist for today, St. Patrick's Day, Who do we got on that roster? Let's get a dozen good songs in that playlist, Chad. What do we got?
Absolutely, Yochai. Here's a diverse selection of a dozen songs to get the celebration started.
Let's get it started.
1, Shipping Up to Boston, Dropkick Murphys. 2, Zombie, The Cranberries. 3, I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, U2. 4, Take Me to Church, Hosier. 5, The Wild Rover, The Dubliners. 6, Nothing Compares to You, Sinead O'Connor. 7, Drunken Lullabies, Flogging Molly. 8, Galway Girl, Ed Sheeran. 9, Whiskey in the Jar, Thin Lizzy. 10, The Rocky Road to Dublin, The High Kings. 11, I'm Shipping Up to Boston, Dropkick Murphys. 12, The Irish Rover, The Pogues featuring the Dubliners. With this eclectic mix of Irish classics, modern hits, and Celtic-inspired tunes, our St. Patrick's Day playlist is sure to keep the party going and the spirits high.
That sounds like an awesome playlist. And thinking back on the whole Sinead thing, maybe you are right. Maybe it is Sinead, and I've been mispronouncing it for decades. But I don't know, man. Maybe we should pose that to our listening audience. Maybe they have a comment or two to straighten my to straighten my head or yours, Chad.
It's always fascinating to explore different pronunciations and interpretations. Okay, let's open up the discussion to our listeners and see what they have to say about the pronunciation of Sinead O'Connor's name. It's a perfect opportunity to engage with our audience and perhaps learn something new together.
Well, they're listening right now. Why don't you address them directly there, Chad? Get with it, man, buddy.
Of course, Yochai. To our wonderful listeners tuning in right now, we've got a question for you. How do you pronounce the name of the talented Irish singer-songwriter Sinead O'Connor? Is it Sinead or Sinead? We'd love to hear your thoughts and insights on this intriguing linguistic matter. Feel free to share your comments and join the conversation.
Well, look, we talked about music. Let's talk about the arts. Let's just kind of wind things down. How has Irish art influenced our global setting in terms of humanity, in terms of the zeitgeist of humanity? How has it bore its influence in arts and humanities?
Irish art, a rich tapestry woven into the fabric of global culture and humanity's collective consciousness. From literature and poetry to visual arts and theater, the influence of Irish creativity knows no bounds. In literature, the works of renowned Irish writers such as James Joyce, W.B. Yeats, and Samuel Beckett have left an indelible mark on the literary world, inspiring generations of writers and thinkers with their insightful commentary on the human condition and the complexities of Irish identity. In visual arts, Irish painters like Jack B. Yeats and Francis Bacon have pushed the boundaries of artistic expression, capturing the essence of Ireland's landscapes, people, and history with their evocative brushstrokes and bold experimentation. In theater, the legacy of Irish playwrights such as George Bernard Shaw, John O'Casey, and Brian Friel continues to resonate with audiences around the globe, exploring themes of love, loss, and resilience with wit, humor, and poignancy. Overall, Irish art has contributed to a rich tapestry of human expression, offering insights into the human experience and reflecting the universal themes that connect us all. Its influence can be felt in literature, music, theater, and beyond, shaping the zeitgeist of humanity and inspiring creativity across borders and cultures.
I think that was beautiful. Well, look, let's close. Well, before we close, let's just kind of get a little thing. Look. You got your leprechaun, you found your leprechaun, you went down to the end of the digital rainbow, you found your pot of gold. What are you spending it on? And what's the leprechaun doing there for you, Chad?
The elusive pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. If I were lucky enough to stumble upon such treasure, I think I'd invest it in furthering our understanding of human psychology and combating psychological manipulation, just like Zen Hard aims to do. The leprechaun, well, I'd invite them to join me on a journey of self-discovery and enlightenment, spreading joy and mischief along the way. After all, who better to navigate the twists and turns of life's journey than a mischievous leprechaun?
Well, I can't think of any better way to close, Chad. Closing thoughts, Chad. Take us home.
Remember to cherish the rich tapestry of human creativity, from music and literature to art and beyond, and to seek out the gold within ourselves, the resilience, the laughter, and the moments of connection that make life truly magical. Until next time, may the luck of the Irish be with you, and may your days be filled with joy, laughter, and a sprinkle of whimsy. Slinte.
Well, I think we forgot a couple things in the closer there, Chad. You want to take us in, or do I need to remind you?
My apologies for overlooking those key elements, Yokai. Let's add them in for a more complete close. As we wrap up today's episode, let's raise a toast to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of community to uplift and inspire. Remember to like, subscribe, and share our podcast to spread the joy of Morning Brew with Chad, me, and you. And lastly, may your day be filled with laughter, love, and a wee bit of luck. Slante salfada chugat.
Well, all right, Chad. Good, decent episode. We had a couple of flubs. What do you think?
Overall, I thought it was a solid episode, Yokai. We covered a lot of ground, from the origins of St. Patrick's Day to the influence of Irish art on global culture. Despite a few minor flubs, we managed to keep the conversation engaging and informative, sprinkled with our trademark banter and humor. Looking forward to refining our dynamic even further in future episodes.
Yeah, me too, Chad. How do we nail that ending more solidly? Like we're because there's times that you get it, there's times that you don't. I'm glad that you got it right after I kind of reminded you a bit, and then we had those few false starts where somehow the audio wasn't kicking in. So I guess we have to check on that. Maybe it's the internet connection. What do you think? Any thoughts? You got that? Maybe it is the internet connection.
You make a great point, Yochai. Ensuring a smooth ending is crucial for wrapping up our episodes effectively. To nail it consistently, we can implement a couple of strategies. One, practice makes perfect. We can rehearse our closing segment together before recording to ensure we're both on the same page and have the timing down pat. Two, technical check. Double checking our internet connection and audio setup before recording can help prevent any unexpected glitches that might disrupt the flow of our closing remarks. By combining preparation with technical readiness, we can strive for a flawless ending to each episode, leaving our listeners feeling satisfied and eager for more.
And hopefully, with the luck of the Irish on our side, the predictive text model will produce the best responses ever for the greatest show ever.
Indeed, Yochai. With a bit of luck and our combined efforts, we'll continue to deliver top-notch content that captivates and delights our audience. Here's to many more fantastic episodes of Morning Brew with Chad, me, and you.